Why'd you leave Kentucky? What happened there?
I don't need the money, but I like the money. But I don't need the money. Did I say I like the money, though? I want to help 25 more families. If I do right by them, we'll have some good stuff happen here at Arkansas.
Is any of this, what you just said, possibility? Why'd you leave Kentucky? What happened there?
As much that this opportunity came up that I had no idea, I wasn't leaving. And all of a sudden, I'm approached. The initial conversation was John Tyson calls me and, hey, we want to talk to you about some candidates and will you meet with the AD? Well, the candidates ended up, what about you? What about me? And I said, I'm on my way. It was in Phoenix. I'm on my way to Vegas. A friend of mine was getting married. We were having his third bachelor party. So we were on our way to there. And I said, I got an hour. And then that was, I believe, on a Thursday or Friday. And by Saturday, I'm talking to my wife, like, we're in the same league, unbelievable facilities, unbelievable support. They want me there in the worst way. I'm like, we need to, my wife was like, let's go. Let's do this. You've done everything you can here. What else can you do here? Now do it one more time. And then I said, can we do it one more time? She goes, come on, man, you know you can. Let's go. We'll do it together. So that's kind of how it happened. And it was all within 48 hours. Let me give you the last thing. We had Father Joe with us, a priest in Vegas. And I said, listen, I got this thing. How should I? He said, go for a walk for an hour. You're the coach of Kentucky. Walk back that next hour. You're the coach of Arkansas. And it's funny, about 15 minutes after coming back, I started whistling and skipping. Like, you know what? I'm doing this. So Father Joe from Philadelphia got it done. He got it done.
Why do all you guys, you Italians, I'm Catholic, but I'm at the Catholic school. I wore the tie, the hard shoes, I like the girl that had to have the skirt measured. But you guys, all you Italians always have a priest hanging on with you. There's like, hey, I got this priest that's just hanging out with me. Where the hell does that come from?
I'm a poor, miserable sinner. And look, when I give confession, the priest comes out, his head spinning. So, but I tell you, with what I do where I'm coaching other people's children, I better have something that grounds me in the morning to keep reminding me this is someone's child so I don't want to choke somebody.
Right.
There are times where you want to throw a kid off the team and you go to mass in the morning and you go, come on, man, there's a better way. So, but I do come out of church and I want to get in my car and the first guy that cuts me, you no good. So,
Hey, St. Peter and Paul Catholic Church, Gary, Indiana. My dad, right after church, what the fuck are you doing? Get out of my way. What are you doing? I'm like, Dad, man, let's just go get Dunkin' Donuts. Hey, that's all right. How much longer are you coaching? Forever? I mean, you don't look any different. I mean, what?
Well,
you going to coach till you're 110?
Here's where I am. I want to help 25 more families. And when I'm done, that'll be the 25 families and I'll be done. If I do right by them, we'll have some good stuff happen here at Arkansas, as long as I'm doing right by them. But that's being transformational, which is what I've tried to do, my wife and I, for the kids. But if this becomes transactional, then I'm done. And if it's transactional, if you watch us practice right now, you would say, these kids are locked into him and the staff. They want to know. They want to be coached. What you want to show may not be what they want to see. Let me help you. You want to do all that. They don't want to see that. This is what they want to see. But if it's transactional and they're waving me off or rolling their eyes and I'm like, wait a minute. Why would I still do this? You tell me, why would I still do it if I'm
No,
not
you
having
can't.
I mean,
No, that's exactly right.
I don't need the money, but I like the money, but I don't need the money. Did I say I like the money though?
Yeah, you did. Yes, you did. Twice.
I'm I'm looking for NIL deals. And then all that we've done, I mean, what else other than let's do something crazy here at Arkansas? I mean, we've done so I just want to make sure I'm transformational and I stay the way I've been. And if it's not that, I'll walk away, you know. It'll be like, okay, now I know he's saying this ain't working. But right now,
Is it?
it's working.
Let me back up. How do you? I get having fun on the court. I get nothing's better than winning. I've always said nothing's better than winning as a player. Second is winning as a head coach. But nothing. Okay, how do you not make it transactional? How does it not become transactional outside of your love for what you're doing, or is that it?
Part of it is you're recruiting in a way that you're not making promises. You're under promising, over delivering. You're not telling them you start 30 minutes, do all that. This is what this is. It is not for everybody. It is I don't have a magic wand. Can't do the work for you. But all I know is these 80 kids went through this. So we're doing something. Part of it is developing professional habits. Part of it is learning to be a great teammate. Part of it is having skills that transfer, doing what they want to see. And then the fourth thing is learning how to create joy in your life, because what we do is like this. And if every time you hit a lull, you die all the time. So you better know how to create joy. Last night we were waiters for Wishes. The team went over and served people who were raising money for Make-A-Wish. I want them to feel that so they know. As long as we can stay and they understand I'm doing this for you to do this, if I do right, they will come together. Like you said, they want to win worse than us, but they got to care. If I can't teach them to care about one another, they're never going to experience team sports the way they should. If it's all about themselves, their own money, how much are you making? How much are you making? What are you doing? Now, this ain't working, and I'm not going to be able to do what I do for young people and families.
How much do you fight that? Because a lot of people, probably myself included, if I went back and looked, I said a real challenge for a coach is going to be I'm paying him so much and he's making so much. I know me personally, Alford back in the day could make more than me, but if Stu Robinson was, I'd have been a dick. I mean, do you fight that?
Well, what we're trying to do, which is what I said last year, you have 8 or 9 players, and if they're all in the same range, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less, but they're in the same range. But I can't go and bring in one guy. Look, this is a way of doing it. And some people they're saying we're going to go get one guy and we'll pay whatever we have to because we need that one guy for recruiting, for saying we can recruit. I don't know. But I'm saying when one guy's making twice, 3 times, 4, 5 times the rest of your team, I would struggle to do it. And that's why we're in that same range. And I tell all these kids, I can't give it all to you. I'm trying to build a team. If we don't win, you're going to get killed. And I can't give it all to you. And if you want it all, you'll have to go somewhere else. And if you're going somewhere else, I'll help you.
Yeah.
Tell them whatever you want, whatever my offer was. Tell them I offered you $4 million, and maybe they'll give you $5 million. You're not coming here. I don't really care. You can use me however you want. But we're all trying to figure out our way. And that's why I said, when I said with insuring the donors, I think that's a big deal.
That's so smart.
And
I think
AI,
that's massive.
I don't know if the AI can be what I think it could be, because I don't know AI. I don't know it. But it sounds like, man, they may solve a problem for us. And so anyway, I'm having a ball. I'm loving it here. My
Good.
wife is loving it here. We 25 more families. Let's go. Let me help 25 more, and then I'll do a podcast.
You've always advocated for something, and I want to get into this because this needs to happen. You've always advocated for 2 seasons in college basketball, one of which would be in August. Every other sport has 2 seasons. My wife, longtime softball coach at Syracuse, 2 seasons. Volleyball, 2 seasons. Baseball, football. Give me your thoughts on that. Can we head there? Will we ever get where maybe in August we have a college basketball season type thing?
Well, first of all, I'll give you 3 things that we need to do. And I want you to understand, no one listens to me. My wife doesn't listen to me. No one listens to me. So the reason I said summer basketball was because even if it's a 2-week period that we're able to play against each other on TV, in arenas, but we could also do scrimmages. We could do foreign tours. Every year you can do those things because it brings light to college basketball in a dead sports time in August. Some schools can do it. That's where we are now anyway. Some schools have, some schools don't have. Forget about it. Why don't we worry about the sport right now? So I'm saying there's a 2-week period where you could coach your team, you could play games at home, maybe on the road on Fridays, so that you would go on a Friday after class, go on a Saturday weekend, maybe have a tournament where there's 6 teams in one place and they play a game, and then they switch opponents. Maybe you do something with your league where your league comes together and you do something for a 2-week period in the summer. Now, I've been saying that for 5 years. No one listens to me. All right, so here's the other thing. The transfer rule. Why would kids leave 4 times, transfer 4 times? Tell me why.
Money.
That's
Playing
it. Don't
time.
you stop right there.
Money.
Just stop. So how about you make a mistake as a player, the coach lies to you, whatever. You transfer once without penalty. Now you say, well, that's restricted. No, they can transfer more, but you're going to have to sit out. Now, you go to 4 different schools. Can you graduate? No. You're not going to graduate.
God, no. Hell no. Not a chance. But nobody
So
talks
you
about
transfer
graduating. Go
4
ahead.
times for the money. Now you're done. You go to get a job. Because you were a mercenary, do you think that last school is loyal to you or the state is there? How can we help you? You're a mercenary. Could care less. You were making 500, 600, maybe more. And now all of a sudden it's time to get a job. Your first job offer is $65,000, a lot of money, with no college degree. What does that kid say? What? Do I have to come to work? Do you give me a car? Do I get a house? That's coming down the pike, and we're all going to have to deal with it because we did it to them. Fugazi, what we're paying and doing right now. It's not legit. Why would a kid stay in school till he's 36? Why would he stay in school, just being real? 29, 28. How fast did you want to get out of school? No, I mean, did you want to stay 3 extra years?
No, but I did want to stay 1 extra year, and I did.
Okay.
I was dumb. I should have redshirted. But I do get your point. I totally get your point. No question.
Why are they staying in school? The same reason. They're getting paid, and they say, hey, so why don't we go to 5 years? You got 5 years to play, and you could play all 5. But if you get hurt twice, you got buzzard luck. If you want to transfer once, go ahead. You transfer a second time and sit out. That's going to cut into one of your years, but you can do it. And then you're at one school 3 years, you get your college degree. This is fair and makes sense. Come on. Why aren't we doing this stuff? We don't need government to tell us. Let us do it.
Is any of this, what you just said, let's say within 3 to 5 years, a possibility?
If it's not, this will all break up. You're going to have no NCAA, which I called for about 10 years ago, 12 years ago, and I was about right on the money, because they run out of people to piss off. They got no one else more to piss off, everybody. The selective enforcement, all guys that were put white hats and black hats and how they did it, they're done. Now, every suit that they've had, what happens to them? Anytime they're sued, what?
They lose. They lose.
Why? Because you're not fair. The Supreme Court voted 9-0 against them. Do you know the last time the Supreme Court was together on anything? It was like busing back in the 60s. Okay, so what I'm saying is, if we don't get those things done, then you're going to have to collect the bargain. It can be trade. They don't have to be employees. It's going to be the leagues come together and do the stuff themselves. Because of collective bargaining, you do new rules. You have uniform contracts. And now we get about our business. But if we don't do that, if we don't do the simple stuff, the big stuff, I'm not worried about the kids' money. Whatever we choose to pay them or however that doesn't bother me. We are letting them transfer 4 times without penalty, letting them play till they're 28, letting 17-year-olds play against 26-year-olds. Is that fair? How about,
no?
I'm guessing 1,000 freshmen are not going to get scholarships. Why? American kids. Why? Because every coach
is going to Europe.
They're waiting. The coaches are waiting for older guys. I'm not going to get a freshman that I don't think I'm going to get a 26-year-old. So now all of a sudden we're in this. Let me give you 2. That's my stuff that no one listens to. Now, let me tell you a couple things. I don't even mind telling what we're doing, because this is not, you're not trying to circumvent. You're trying to say, help the situation. Our players are all insured for a year-ending injury. Their money is guaranteed. So who am I insuring? Who am I covering? The donors. The donors. So all of our donors that have given to have this team I'm coaching, if someone's hurt, that money goes back to rev share, goes back to the marketing, whatever it is, that kind of less I got to ask for next year. There is donor fatigue. They're tired. They don't want to get, how about they want to give to their own kids? Why would I keep doing this? So I'm like, we're insured. I think we're the only team insured. Now, the reason I did it, when I took the job, you ready? I had no team. You remember that? But I had one walk-on.
Yeah.
I had one walk-on. Lawson, 2 days, came in to see me. Yeah, you could be on the team. 2 days later, blew his Achilles. What if I had paid him $1 million? The guy that gave me the $1 million would have said, what? Right. I just gave you money for this kid. And how about this one? And then at the end of the year, what's he do?
Boom. Gone.
He transfers.
Gone.
So now you're like, the guy's looking at me. Wait a minute. So our kids are all insured. I think at this point, we're one of the few. But now that it's out there, I think how about if you're a football program? And now they're spending $35 million. And so now, are they insured? Have they insured their donors? Because that's what you're doing. The players are guaranteed the money. They're in. And then the other thing I'm trying to do, like, I'm not real smart. I'm one of those guys that I was like the Prop 48 coach. I had to sit out my first year of coaching when they looked at me and said, holy cow, this guy's so stupid. But I'm meeting today with a group for AI. And you say, well, what would you do that for? So this group, 32 group, which was the insurance, where I worked with everybody. It took me up until about 2 months ago to get Lloyd's of London to agree to insure, because you had to go, there was no product, there was nothing. Now that same group, 32 group, is talk to me about AI. And you say, well, what would you use them for? Well, the rev share is the rev share. But NIL money, real NIL, takes a business and a contract and deliverables and payments and, well, how about if we use AI for that stuff? So now I'm meeting with the group today to say, tell me how this would work. Because I can't spend or have my time or have another guy, or look, let's have them train. That's in the background. A contract gets through Deloitte. Well, they'll have it in the system. They know what works to go through and what won't work to go through. Also, any rules, a contract goes and they can red flag what is kind of dicey. That's close. You better look at that again. They could do that in 10 minutes. Now, to be in the background doing that, let me give you what you must be. And Deloitte, too. First of all, you have to have a law degree. You're doing contracts. You got to know the law.
Yeah.
Second of all, you better be an accountant. So you have 2 degrees. And the third one is mathematics for analytics. Who's that guy? And how much are you paying him? Well, we need 5 of them. What? How you get 5 of those kind of guys? So I'm looking at AI. I'm out of my mind. Right now, I'm coaching my team. The best time for me is to get on the court, coach my team, and get with my guys. I got a good team, all that stuff. But I'm having to spend time on this stuff. The insurance took me 1.5 years to insure our donors. They appreciate it. Like, thank you. It's not dead money. How about this one? How much do you think is out there hanging in all this NIL stuff? How much?
I have no idea. You tell me.
What, you think it would be 4 billion? 3 billion?
I think it,
well,
I don't know. I think it's a hell of a lot.
20 million times 100 schools. And now we're doing this upfront that we did. Say it's 3 trillion, 3 billion, it's probably 3 billion. It's dead money. It's not insured. It's not hedged. We're just, boom, let's go. And so that's one thing we all should be doing for the donors. But the AI thing, there's 2 of us on this.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, it's fascinating because you and I know shit about AI. That's why it's fascinating.
Right. That's why it is.
And I'm meeting with them today to tell me, show me how you can, the rev share is the rev share. But show me this so that I can work within the rule. I'm not trying to circumvent anything. What are the rules? Okay. So we got to use businesses. How can you help us make that right? And this group, like I said, the 32 group came at me with this one, and I said, let me look at it. Let me look at it. The insurance was, that's Gallagher, Chicago,
that makes sense.
The Lloyd's of London. And I'm saying, like, I didn't give the AI to the rest of the league, but our league met, and them being insured is not like, I don't get this advantage because we're insuring our donors. We need to do this to make this work. And I'll even give you this. It was 3% of our money. So 3% of the total thing was what insured for total, they're injured, not total disability for the rest of their life, just the season. So anyway, those are some things.
How does it work? How does it work? Your AD came out and said, well, Coach Pittman wasn't funded. Is that Coach Pittman's fault? Is that the university's fault? Is that how does it work?
What he was saying, he kind of said wrong. I like Hunter. But instead of saying there are schools out there spending $30 million, $35 million in football, and we're spending less than half of that. So how can you say we're ready? And if you all want to help us to close that gap, that's fine. But if not, how do you expect that? Now, I like Sam. Great guy. I thought a terrific coach. They had 2 fumbles at the end of 2 games. And if they didn't fumble those 2 times, 4-0. I'm talking the very last offensive play of 2 games. They could have won both. They fumbled. But we are where we are now. So I just think he said it. He wanted to say what he was saying, but he kind of got out wrong.
Do you have to answer? Have you?
You've done that many
really?
times. Well, yeah,
really? No shit. Yeah. Oh yeah. Do you have you had to answer for that in the last couple of days? Like, hey, coach, are you guys funded? That kind of thing? Did that spill over at all?
No, but they did. I had people come up and say stuff, and like I've done things and you have where you said the wrong thing, and he said was true, but it just needed to be said different. And people care about football here. They care about it. They want to win. And my guess is he's going to have some ridiculous candidates that want to do this. We are funded. What they committed to me, they're doing. But I'm telling you, our league compared to, like, my whole thing is I got to figure out other ways within not to try to circumvent, to do things with other businesses so that we can make up the difference of what these other schools are offering kids. We have, I'm guessing there are 10 to 15 schools that would have twice what we have, including one in our own league. So when you talk about how do you make up that difference, you will say, well, Cal, playing for you and what you've accomplished and all this, and you have 80 guys in the NBA, you got 30 current guys, their salaries are $4.2 billion. You had 7 All-Stars in one game. You had 2 MVPs in Derrick Rose and now Shea. Yeah, you get a discount for about 15%. It ain't half, and they ain't just giving up. I mean, it is what it is. You may get a little discount because a kid would want to play here, but you better be in the ballpark.
I had Patrick Ewing tell me when he was at Georgetown, I said, hey, man, you're at Georgetown. Has that helped you with recruiting? He said, hell yeah, with moms, dads, grandmas, and grandpas. But kids don't give a shit. They just wanted to know what the hell we were doing. That's it. Let me ask you this, because this would be interesting if I were a former player. Well, I am, but as a former player. You mentioned the billions in salaries. Do you ever hit up former players? Or do former players come to you and say, Coach, in this world, I want to fund so-and-so?
No.
I'm not saying you. I'm sure you don't, but would they come to you with that?
Look, if the kids, how they were treated there, like let's say they were treated in a way, do you know how much we spend on you? Do you know what this university does for, but it's, all that. And then they're saying, wait a minute, I had a building filled because I'm here. You're making all this money funding all these other sports, and you're telling me what you're doing for me? Well, that kid's not going to give back. When I take them to dinner, I just took Carl Towns, 14 people at his Hall of Fame in Kentucky. We went to dinner after the awards. My wife and son went to the awards. I met after with him. Did he pick up that dinner or did I?
I know you did. That's what we do. I pick it up. I didn't make nothing. Yeah, I know that.
I didn't want to pick it up. I said, are you getting this? He said, you're out of your mind. You're paying for it. So, I mean, no, I'm not. They did too much for me and my family. Yeah. I'm here because of them. I'm not going to ask. Now, if someone wants to do something at all, I want to do something, that's fine.
Hey, I do. Let me ask you about, I want to go back to something because I think it's when I was at ESPN, I damn near did a PowerPoint on what you and I had talked about this tournaments and things. You're always looking for revenue stream. You understand this better than anybody in the history of college basketball. Let's say that Arkansas comes in here with, I don't know, let's say Louisville, Indiana, Purdue plays a tournament. Gainbridge Fieldhouse, middle of August. Can you make enough money to make that worth it for Arkansas and the 3 other teams for NIL money?
And it could all go to the kids. That's
what I'm saying. Yeah.
They go, they do things in the community. They do some charity stuff. They give some of the money to charity to make everybody feel good, which they should. And yeah, we do it. And it's another way. Look, I said this, and now you may not agree with this. I've been saying this. Our league should do a tournament, preseason tournament, like in December, early November.
Absolutely. 100%.
And now forget the postseason tournament. So when you do a preseason tournament, everybody's guaranteed like 3 games. And then the 2 guys that are finished, they get the last games. And now you maybe go where you go to a football stadium where there are 2 courts. You could be watching 2 games and you do it. And then it's preseason. What is the postseason tournament for? One thing. Trying to make money, but I'm like saying to play 3 games in 3 days or 4, all that stuff going into the NCAA tournament, play that stuff in front. And then we get a chance for our fans to come together and see it. Can I just say this? No one listens to me, anything I say. They may later, and then they come back and say, well,
that's right.
Wasn't that Cal's idea? And they'll say, no, it wasn't exactly that way. He said stuff, but no, we're doing it different.
I remember, hey, honest to God, I remember having the same conversation with Coach Knight.
They
ain't going to listen to me.
How about when we one and done? The one and done. You had coaches go crazy. I'm never going to do that. Our graduates in the, they don't, within 1 year, everybody did it.
Right.
And
right.
I don't blame them. I'm not mad, but I went through it like dudes are taking shots at me left and right. And next year they're doing the same thing. But anyway, we're a copycat league. That's what we are as coaches. Something works, everybody's going to do it.
Do you feel, a lot of fans feel this way, and I'm surprised, I'm starting to feel this way a little bit now that I'm not doing games. Is college basketball a little bit in danger of becoming a 1 month, 6 week sport, NCAA tournament sport? Is college basketball behind college football in that regard?
No, let's not screw up the tournament. That's why I'm not for all this. Unless you know exactly what's going to happen when you expand. If you're not sure, don't screw this up. Go with the known. Leave the unknown alone. But no, but if we do something in the summer that's a dead time that gets it going, the NBA's doing it with the summer league. People watch that stuff.
I agree. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
We did some stuff in the summer, but we could only do once every 4 years. But I was doing stuff and having it televised in the Bahamas, in Toronto. And we had it. Guess what? Everybody watched. And so I'm like saying, why doesn't everybody have that opportunity every year? Maybe it's a scrimmage. Maybe it's an open scrimmage where people can come in. Maybe it's a foreign team. You remember when foreign teams used to come and play us? They'd come preseason. Do it in August. And now, we're here with our teams training anyway. They'd rather play.
I remember Seth and I were down there and doing your Bahamas, and we coached in your fantasy camp. And I remember looking around, all of a sudden, there's 30 NBA scouts there. And I knew they were coming for you, but a couple told me, yeah, we're looking at this Batadze kid from wherever the hell team you played him. And I immediately thought to myself, what a great thing for Kentucky's kids to be able to play in front of these scouts and not have to sit in a hot-ass gym, a practice facility, and do line drills or make 23s or we're all going to run, that kind of bullshit. I mean, what a great – and, you're at whatever the frick that hotel is with the resort. What a great deal. I don't understand why more teams didn't do that.
We're going to take a tour, and I haven't figured out whether it'll be Toronto or Bahamas this coming year with my team, but we're going to do that. And then now that you bring it up, we got pro day Sunday. All 30 teams are coming. So we'll do our
That's what
pro
I'm
day
saying.
Sunday. All 30 teams will be there. The kids get excited about that kind of stuff.
Right. Right. Hey, coach is yelling at me, and I got to do a loose ball drill and beat up on Carl Anthony Towns in a rebounding drill or do pro day. Hey, give me pro day anytime, brother. Give me that shit. You heard Bruce Pearl retired. What was your initial thought?
He's running for Senate. He wants to get it. I don't know. I mean, look, he had a hell of a run. He did what he did when he did it. He got his son the job, give him an opportunity. Can you really be mad at him for that? I'm not. I got a son that's in this business too. So I help everybody else's kids. So has he. Why not help our own?
Man, the way you go about it, most coaches, when they retire, I say, send them a note, congratulations. Now you get to realize there's life without it. But I think you figured out how to have life with it. So podcasts would bore you. You're going to coach till you're 172 years old. You're going to win 1,500 games. You're going to be coaching Carl Anthony Towns' grandkids. I don't know. I played against Milt Wagner. What's he, the great?
Dan, I got to tell you, I've coached 7 children of players that played for me. Children, 7. And a brother. Carter Knox, Kevin Knox's brother. I'm like, what? I had a young coach talk to me about UMass. And I looked at him and I go, Coach, come on, man. You couldn't have been born. Well, my mother was in school during that time at UMass. Right. He tells me about it. I'm like, oh my gosh. Well,
right.
Look, I'm having a ball.
There'll be another Wagner come down the road here soon. They'll be like,
how about that? I mean, like 3 of them. When they start coaching their grandkids, that's when I'm like, what am I doing?
Honest to God, I played against Milt when he was at Louisville, and I'm like, damn, he got a grandkid he's already coaching. I thought it was like another kid. Coach, thanks, man. I love talking to you. Thanks for your time. So much fun.
All right.